On today's episode, I'll be chatting about my finished Emma top as well as other works in progress. Hey everyone, I'm Marina and this is Pineapple Knits. This is my channel dedicated to knitting, spinning, and weaving. You can connect with me on social media at Pineapple Yarn, and you can connect with me on my website at pineappleyarn.com. Thank you so much for joining me again this week, and welcome back to all of my longtime viewers. If you're a new viewer, thanks so much for viewing and joining us today. I am so happy that y'all are here. I'm coming to you from coastal South Carolina. It is the long days of summer. They are hot, they are humid, and I'm really just soaking it up. I say that week after week, but it's true. I had someone ask me last week what the shawl is on my mannequin, and I've said it so many times that I just didn't say it last week. I really need to switch it up, but I'm just not in the shawl mood right now, I guess, because it is so hot and humid. But this is the Odyssey Shawl by Joji Locatelli, a wonderful pattern. It's a DK weight pattern, and it is a really, really fun pattern. And of course, it knits up so quickly because it's made from DK weight yarn. So definitely check that out if you want a really fun shawl pattern. It is a crescent shaped shawl, so it's very flattering, and I really loved knitting it, and I love wearing this shawl because of all the colors. So the colors I used were Sights on Summer, Pacific Dreams, and Sunspot. So that's the shawl on my mannequin. I really need to change it up, I know. But this week I am wearing one of my finished objects. This is the Emma top number 2. I really, really love this garment so much. It took me forever to knit. I think I could have knit a full-size long sleeve sweater in the time that it took me to knit this, but it's okay because I really, really like it. I knit this with Bamboo Pop from Universal Yarn, which is a half cotton, half bamboo blend, and I've knit other garments in the past with this yarn, and it's a really great yarn. I would say it's on the light side of DK, so just to make up for that, I knit a size larger than I normally would. This is the second size, and all in all, I think it fits really, really well. The only thing that I would change, and I can still do this very easily, is the straps are a little too long, and so I definitely could shorten them because this is knit in 2 pieces. I just Kitchenered the straps on the top, and so I definitely could just pick that out and shorten it if I want to do that in the future. But I think all in all, it fits really great. Fits at my high hip, that's what I wanted, and I can't show you that because I can't back up anymore. But trust me, it fits at my high hip, it's perfect, and it's very, very comfortable. And so I was outside in the heat, in the humidity for a bit, and even though this is knit, it's cushy because of the brioche, it was so comfortable. And so I'll give you a little close-up. You can see the brioche rib here, and it just has these really beautiful decreases at the straps. And the back is the same. So you can see the back is the same V. Now you can do a higher back version, which is also very beautiful, very stylish. I just opted to go with this. Maybe it was laziness, I don't know, because the front and the back are exactly the same. Maybe, I don't know. But I love this color. This is the Summer Squash colorway, I believe, and really love this kind of like cinnamony brown color because I intend to wear this in the warm fall days, and just to get a little pop of autumnal color into my wardrobe and wear those fall colors while I can. So yeah, this is done, and I am so happy it's going to be off my needles and into the finished objects pile because I have so many other things I want to cast on, and since I'm a monogamous knitter, I like to get things done one at a time. But I do want to mention real quick, I went down a needle size for this pattern, so I believe it was a size 3 with that I knit this on, and the pattern calls for a size 4. I believe so. That could be incorrect, but whatever the pattern says, I went down a needle size, so just for your reference. But I am a loose knitter, I always go down a needle size. So now that my Emma top is finished, I have really gone full steam ahead on my Molly sweater, which is a great Cocoknits pattern. And the designer behind Cocoknits is Julie Weisenberger. I think she's been designing for a really long time. So I was really excited to try some of these patterns. The yarn I'm using is my yarn. It's pineapple yarn in Glowworm, and I dyed it up on my Lani DK base, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I really love this base. As a matter of fact, I only use this base now in all of my in-stock yarn because it is super soft, super squishy, but it has a nice round twist, so it's really great if you want nice stitch definition. It's just a great all-around yarn, and I actually really like the nylon addition in it because I do a lot of gift knitting, and so I want that little bit of nylon in it for hats, mittens, cold weather accessories that might have a little extra wear. Plus, my children's sweaters are, oh, they wear their sweaters out. I mean, they are not gentle to them at all. So the nylon really helps with that. So here is where I'm at on the sweater this week. I have finished the yoke, I have finished the worksheet portion, I have split for the sleeves, and now I am just working on the body. So for those of you who might be new to the Cocoknits method, what you do is you actually, depending on the size you're knitting, you fill in a worksheet with all the increases, where they're at, and then what you can do is write down any modifications you make as well, so you kind of have your own little pattern specifically for your preferences and body shape, size. It's really cool. So that was a little bit of a challenge when I first started that, but I quickly got over it and kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of neat. So yeah, this is a top-down raglan. It has a wider neck, as you can see. I don't think it's going to be super wide when it's done, but it's definitely not going to be, you know, right up on my neck. So that is that. I really like this construction method, and I'll give you a close-up for this. So when I first started knitting this, I picked up all these and then knit it was kind of like a square or a rectangle. And then on the side of this, I actually picked up and increased to make this really great kind of sleeve cap. And I think that's going to be a really nice fitting sleeve. So here's the back. You can see it a little bit better. So there's all the stitches that I picked up, and then the sleeve cap there. So the construction method is very interesting. Not only do you have all the increases specifically designed for your size, but then you also just have a very interesting method, a very interesting yoke design, and I'm so interested to try this on. So what I'm going to do is knit a bit more and then actually try this on, see how it fits. I am knitting the second size, so not the smallest size, but the next size up. This pattern called for a worsted weight, and I'm using a DK with a size 6 needle, which is a 4mm. The pattern calls for a size 7. And so I do think this is going to fit really well. And I'm okay if it's a little big, and I was kind of on the border between the first and the second sizes, but I would rather this be a little too big than a little too small. So I think this is going to be so much fun to just throw on in the winter, and this pop of lime green is going to be so fun and bright and happy. in the cold weather. So far so good. It's knitting really quickly, and yeah, I'm just on kind of like the stockinette portion of the body, a little bit of mindless knitting for a bit, which is kind of nice. I did start a new project which I haven't made a ton of progress on. I know I had kind of thrown out there that I would love to weave an autumn inspired table runner, and so I warped up my loom for a table runner. I went to my personal yarn stash and I thought I had 2 skeins of Malabrigo in the Marte colorway, but it was actually Marte and Archangel, I believe. And so I'm going to show you a close-up of these 2 colorways, what I have left. So this is the Marte, and then this is the Archangel. So as you can see, those are really gorgeous, just absolutely beautiful colorways. And I warped it up the exact same as I did with my last weaving project, which was my 2020 advent calendar from Hedgehog Fibers. I used an 8 DPI heddle and set it at 16 EPI. Basically, I double warped a 8 dent heddle. That's right, yes, okay. So I'm using my 32-inch Kromski Harp Forte loom. Obviously, I'm still a beginner, I'm still getting all the lingo, but I intend to use some handspun on this project. And I pulled a few skeins from my stash. I'm still not exactly sure what I'm going to do. And I think what I'm going to do is just pull a skein out that I like and weave for a while and then maybe switch to another color. I'm not going to do it super precise. I know the length of the table runner will be accurate, but I may not even measure my weaving, and I think it's going to be more dense than my last table runner because all of my handspun is about a DK weight, and so it'll definitely be a different look. It'll be a different feel than my last table runner, and it is also narrower. So the yarn amount that I used for my last table runner, it equaled to about 4 skeins of yarn, I think, because it was 24 minis, which are about 20 grams each. But I only used 2 skeins this time of fingering weight yarn, and so it is quite a bit narrower, but I'm okay with that. I think it will actually be more functional on my table because we do use it so much. It'll actually give everyone a little more space around the table runner. But we'll just see how it turns out. But that's my next project that I intend to work on this week. The warp itself is so beautiful with these 2 colors. How I warped it up is, and I think this is going to work out tension-wise and everything, but I pulled the Marte through every hole in the heddle, and I pulled the Archangel through every slot, or vice versa. So I alternated the colors, and so they just blended together so beautifully. Anyway, I wish I just had that warp. It's just an absolutely beautiful warp, and the yarn just shines, and Malabrigo has some really beautiful shades. But that's my next weaving project. I'm very excited to start weaving on that. It's going to be really fun. Well, my next shop update I'm getting ready for is this Friday, August 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at pineappleyarn.com. I am going to have some fall-inspired yarns, some bright yarns, a mix of both, and then I'll also have some fall-scented candles. So if you want to get a jump start on fall, maybe September 1st, you start burning all the fall candles, you might want to check that out this week. Oh, and I'll also have a micro skein set that I had last year, and y'all really liked it. It was called Happy Fall, y'all, and it's 10 different colors of 10 gram skeins, and it was so bright. I knit up a pair of striped socks. So if I find a picture, I'll throw it up here, but I will have that again this year. So I hope you'll join me for that update, and I am going to film a shop update preview after this, so check that out if you want to see everything that will be included in the preview. But that is it for me this week. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you enjoyed this episode, I'd love if you would give it a thumbs up. I will see you next week with another episode. Until then, I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.